What's up, my folks? I hope everyone is doing great. Everyone's getting along well. Well, it's a week. These here are a week old. It's been a very busy. Let me see if I can get a light going on here for you. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's more better. Got more better. Um, I figured I'd show y'all what they're doing in a week. This litter here. I know I've had a bunch of phone calls and a bunch of texts. I've been going through them, guys. You'll have to call me back. And some of you guys, they're leaving me voicemails because this is what happens. You can ask folks. I'll get on the phone with somebody and I'll get long-winded and be like 2 damn hours before I get off the phone, and then I just get sidetracked, do something else. So if I'm not calling you back or whatever, I ain't avoiding your email. Just hit me back. It's usually one of them situations where you roll over into another day and then something else happens, and I've always been that way. It ain't no offense. It's not your problem. It's my problem. It's a problem I have, but it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. So I seen where somebody said you've been avoiding me, not answering my emails. You gotta watch my videos and understand me, man. I do that sometimes. I mean, there's a lot going on. I've had 2 litters this week. 2 bitches had litters. We got this little litter here, and these are some pretty little puppies. I don't know if y'all can really tell how big them puppies are. Let's see. Let's see. I can find something for you to compare them to. There you go. Here's a box of rifle bullets next to them. Give you an idea how big these pups really are now. They're pretty big, but they're nice and healthy and fat, and that's how they should look. People are asking me about if I had any do any pre things for the female. Yes. Look, it's there ain't nothing given in these dogs. You have to earn everything. You want fat, healthy puppies that make it, you got to earn it. You got to take care of the female properly before and after. Okay? They're starting to wiggle. What I do with my female is first thing, feed her very high quality feed. Regardless of what kind you feed, make sure you feed enough of it. I lay out food twice a day for them when they're sometimes 3 times a day if they need it. They're getting big, I can tell. I was three times a day. Lots of fats, lots of proteins. Okay, keep their area very clean. Parasites, any kind of parasite. People don't understand. They get it mixed up thinking parasites strictly like tapeworms or shit like that and hookworm. Parasite's parasite. It can be anything. You can have coccidia get in them, giardia, all kinds of shit. So give them treatments during their pregnancy, before they're bred. Make sure everything's good. There's nothing given, okay? You got to earn it. Then once the bitch worm accordingly. I'm not going to go over the worm details and all that shit. Go through your protocol, what you need, because most of your wormers are safe and some aren't, though. Okay. Then when she has the pups, all right, you're gonna have to be there. That last bitch I just had, the boy brought up a dog from some of his stock, some private stock, bred back to some of my stock, and I'm whelping the litter. I wanted to whelp the litter, and she doesn't know me. She met me 1 week ago, a Saturday a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So and she had a 30-hour whelp. She still had one pup, and then the last pup was 30 hours later. So it was a very stressful, very long, tiresome whelping process. But I didn't leave her. You can't leave your dogs. If I'd have left that bitch, she probably would have died. She had trouble with quite a few of them puppies. And a lot of the puppies didn't make it because they got stuck in the birth canal too long. Whereas it's better to lose a pup than to lose the bitch and the pups. You understand what I'm saying? Then after, I always start them on probiotics, okay, in their feed about 3 weeks before. About 3 weeks before they have their due. That way their body is functioning properly. You can go all year with a probiotic. Some people can do it, feed it all year, but I have more than one dog, so I use it accordingly. My dogs, about twice a week, I might put some probiotics in their food. But get her on the probiotics. If you don't use probiotics, You can use certain things like cultured yogurt with the cultures in them and all that stuff, but I just use the powder multi-species probiotic. If you don't use it, what can happen? Because see, I've had a lot of people say my pups are getting up and then they just start dying on me. And first thing I ask them is, did you have her on probiotics? No. Just because that dog food bag says it has probiotics in it, don't buy it into that shit. Come on. You all have to be smarter than the average bear with these dogs, okay? Um, put some in it. If you don't, what happened? I'm no vet. I'm not telling you that I know this for sure, but through whelping pups and watching things happen with them, it seems like if the bitch doesn't have a good probiotic regimen, when she's cleaning up constantly after the pup. She's constantly licking. She's constantly cleaning up, licking up their poop, and they eat all that afterward. They get a bacteria. Okay, it gets a bad bacteria going through them, and that transfers in the milk, and then in return it goes in the puppies. And a lot of people say it's fading sickness and all this stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with the milk going bad, getting bacteria in it. My theory, but that's what I've watched happen. Um, right after 48 hours after the last puppy it comes out. Okay, 48 hours. I worm her again. I worm the female dog again. Um, you can use fenzabenzenol, parental, uh, the regular tapeworm medicine. I can't remember, Prenzaquin, Quill or some shit. Things like that you can use. Some things you can't use, but you're not supposed to use. But there again, like if you got a bitch and she just blows out with coccidia a week before the puppies are born, you got to treat her. You know what I'm saying? And let me explain it like this, guys. If you're feeding that dog good, okay, and she's still not putting on the proper weight, if you can see any bone, if you can see hip bones, backbone, rib bone, anything when that bitch is pregnant, especially toward her late end of it, you're doing something wrong or she has something wrong with her. You're not feeding enough fat and proteins, or she's got a parasite somewhere. You need to have her checked. Okay? It's just the way it is. If you can't do these things, don't let your dogs get bred. Don't breed them. All right, that's just all there is to it. Now, as far as people are asking me, is it safe to have them outside in the summer? When I showed the video of the pens, look, I've had a bunch of dogs in the heat of the summer, but I always have them shaded and fans on them, stuff like that. But if you have the option, like me, I have my little man room, my gun room is what I call it. I do all my reloading and I whelp puppies in here. I have another room in my laundry room set up with metal walls and tile floor and everything, just for having litters of puppies in. Okay, I do that because I don't want to lose my pups. People want to say only the strong survive. Bullshit. You can have the best puppies in the world and they'll die if something gets wrong with them, or they get too hot, or the mama gets hot and aggravated and don't want to take care of them, have them on her. Because I'm telling you, when the dogs are too hot, they'll be wiggling around. You won't be able to do nothing with them. So make sure you do that right. If you have the option of having the dogs indoors, I would definitely have the dogs indoors. Build a kennel house for them to have them in if you have to. That's part of the game. Ain't nothing free, nothing easy in these dogs. It ain't like you just let two dogs hump and then all of a sudden you're going to be sitting in a whole full yard full of pups. You got to earn them. Okay. Now the pups themselves, I try to let the mama take care of them. I've not fed one of these yet. I ain't bottle fed none of these. She's been taking care of them. Of course, they're only 8 days old this morning, but she's been doing a good job. They're nice and fat-headed and healthy and look good. They're not crying. The mother you can't leave her cooped up with them all the time though. After about 4 or 5 days, you'll notice 3-4 days that bitch will start wanting to get away from her a little bit. Do a lot of hand walking with her. She'll let you know when she's ready to go back to her pups. Usually on the first day or two, you ain't gonna get nothing but them to go outside, use the bathroom, come running right back in. They want to come in, but after a while, they get where they need a break. So in the morning times, what I do, I get up early. I put mama dog out, this one out, till they start wiggling around, getting hungry. It might be 2 hours. It may be an hour and a half. It may be 2.5 hours. Something. I don't usually leave her out much more than 2.5 hours. You don't want to, you don't want them to get like, I don't want to be back in there. You want them to when they start acting like they're missing their puppies and barking and stuff, bring them back in, okay? But give them that break time. Give them that break time if they'll take it, because it's good for them. And in the wild, that's what dogs do. They have to go off and hunt for a while, so the pups, to get a break. But give them a little break, bring them back in. Always wipe their teats off, clean them off real good. Make sure she's in a good, clean environment. Keep plenty of fresh water out for them. Keep, and when they're whelping these pups, you feed them. Don't stop on your feed. You feed them as much as that bitch wants to eat. Let her eat it. The goal is you don't want to see any bone. When that's another problem I've always had. When my dogs get bred, I start feeding them good. I go through the whole program the second they get bred, and I usually get them pretty fat during their pregnancy, and because a lot of times the pups will try to suck that back off of them. But sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing keeping them like that. I know people that don't give them no extra food until they start showing. I don't do that. I just put it in God's hands, and hopefully they got pups. But a lot of times, that bitch can use that food during the first part, and so keep them fed, keep them healthy after, keep the probiotics going through her, keep plenty of good fats and proteins in them. Then at 2 weeks, you want to start worming your pups. Okay. I use the 50 milligram per milliliter parental at first and run through it, and then I do use the valsabazine or valsabazine or whatever it's called, because it gets rid of a lot of things. Like, you got to worry about coccidia and giardia, which not really so much if you're clean and all, but it does come. You got flies that are flying. We don't know how. I don't really know how some of these things are spread. It could be from anything. So just keep a good eye on that shit. Now, I would love to tell you you could go here and there and get this and take care of it and all that. I don't really talk about too much on the medicines because I'm not a vet. But it's gotten so hard to get medicines to take care of these animals. They have regulated so much stuff in the last 10 years. A lot of people don't realize it. You can't go get Albon like you used to for dogs sick. You can't go get some the injectable antibiotics like you used to. They've regulated that shit. Why? Y'all use your own head. I mean, if you got a hospital room full of fucking antibiotics and medications and everything like that, you don't need to go to the doctor. If you could get, say, something that killed pain over the counter, people wouldn't go to the doctor. Why do you think they regulate everything that works? Why they want to outlaw everything that works? Just saying. So before you breed up, put your feelers out. Start getting your medicines together, getting all your box together. When you have the pups, have your shit together, have your heating pad, have your stuff. Like that bitch I just whelped the pups off of. It was a very, very hard litter for that dog. And she had quite a few stillborns, and she wouldn't. It's stressful, You got to take that stillborn away from her. She still had to birth it. She still wants to lick it and take care of it, and she'll neglect the other puppies. And like I said, that bitch had never met me before, so she wasn't. She was very nervous. She don't like the camera. She don't like you talking, around her. You got to really be gentle with her right now, But it's something that when you take them stillborns, get them away from her. Don't let her see them. She's going to come out and try to get them. Get them on away from her as soon as you can, and try to focus her attention back on the living pups. Keep them warm after they're born. I'd put her in a baby pool in the laundry room, and I put a heating pad under the baby pool and just a sheet with a little pad under it for her to birth in. Keep them pups on that warm pad while she's doing it. Like I said, it was 30 hours before she got done, and I had to take and start when start letting them get up on her to nurse after the first one or two. They were born a day before the other one, so I wanted to make sure they get some milk. If she'll lay there and let them nurse, but don't force her. If she doesn't want to fuck with them, don't make her mess with them. Really, let her get done with what she's got to done, and then you can move on with it, and let her get her motherly instinct going. Sometimes that motherly instinct don't kick in until the whole litter's born. Okay, like these dogs here, she didn't want nothing to do with them when they were first born. I had to basically keep them away from her and let her get her interest up. And then after she nursed the first one, it was okay. She was completely good after that. So it's something you got to figure out with your individual dog. Some bitches will not feed them. They just don't want to take care of them at all. Then you're in the feeding tube and all that stuff. So, but you won't know that until you do it. You don't know these things until you try it. So just giving y'all a little bit of advice, and I've seen a lot of the comments. The one that was asking me about the red dog, if I still had that red dog, the one that I saved, rescued. Well, all I did was let her come home with me. I didn't rescue her. She was in the woods eating deer corn, starving to death, beat me at my gate in the morning times, freezing. So, of course, I ain't going to let no dog sit there and suffer like that. And what she was is she was somebody's pet, one of these lovers, animal lovers, pets that probably had to move or got evicted, and they just threw her out on the road. That's the kind of shit people do. They don't got enough nuts to take care of their own problems. But, so I saved that dog, but I gave her away. I found a home for her. I found a great young dude. He's not that young. I mean, he's a grown man, but he just wanted a old dog to ride around in the boat when he goes fishing with him, ride in the truck with him, have a yard dog, a porch dog, and she fits that bill perfectly. Everybody don't need a game bred dog, but she's gone. She's got a great home. She's doing really good. He really likes her, so that worked out good for her. There's an ass for every seat. You know what I'm saying? Just you got these people saying don't quit. I've had some shitty comments. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, some real rude shit. How can you hate a breed of dogs? I mean, I can say, man, I can't stand them little yappers and all that stuff all I want to, but I don't hate any living animal like that. I don't hate them. I mean, I don't even hate a rattlesnake. You know what I'm saying? But it's uh, I can hear the other one squealing in there. She must be moving around. But there's people out there that are really ridiculous about that shit. Man, don't breed them, quit breeding them. Their pounds are full of pit bulls. Let me explain something to you folks that are thinking like that. These dogs ain't gonna go to no pound. I gotta say, my folks earn the dogs they get from me. Even the guys that get these puppies, if they get a puppy from me, they have to earn it. I require a lot out of people to get my pups. I might not try to sell them for a whole shitload of money and knock somebody's head off. I do that so I can pick and choose. I mean, because just because somebody got a pocket full of money don't mean they're good or know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, some people got more money and sense and they just want something as a toy, and these ain't toys. So the people that get these dogs, they have to wait. Some of these people that are getting one of these pups right now have waited a very long time for dogs. I've had people wait 2 and 3 years for me to do the breeding that they wanted. But you know what they all do? They all pay me a deposit and they sit back and they wait until it's here. They know they're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. So I don't think someone's going to wait a year to have a dog, drive 1,000 miles to pick him up, and then go put him in a pound for shitting on the floor. I mean, some people are just fucking morons. They just can't use their head and think about the whole logical picture. These aren't backyard bred bullshit. They have to earn these dogs, and to me, everyone should earn their dog. You know what I mean? Uh, and that's why I've only let older dogs go to certain people. You know what I mean? That I know are good dog men and that we're on the same team. And when people get my dog, it's like my team. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be very successful with that dog and then really enjoy that dog and do well by the dog. I mean, that's what I expect from them. That's why I make these videos for people that are learning and starting to have a little bit of advice. You know what I mean? A little map, a little map down that road, because a lot of guys didn't have that map. We didn't have this map. People didn't. If you didn't have a mentor in the dogs, you didn't get very far. You know, and I mean, so in books, they're books. That's one person's opinion. It don't mean it's the gospel. It may work for them, and some people just make a book and repeat everybody else's shit. So, and hell, to be honest with you, some of my mentors couldn't read. I mean, for real, some of them old swamp honkies couldn't even read that I learned these dogs from. But it's a learning curve, and you're going to have to go through it and learn. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier for you guys that are trying to keep the lines going and keep the strains going. As far as like all the other shit, I've seen the comments about this dog or that, and a lot of this stuff that's being said now about these dogs, is made up new terms and shit. There is only look. As far as I'm concerned, you got the good and the bad, and that's it. All it is what a dog can do or what he can't do. If it ain't got nothing to do with none of the other shit to me. None of that shit concerns me. If a dog can produce good dogs, good usable dogs, it can produce good usable dogs. If the dog is a very good hunting dog, he's a very good hunting dog. It doesn't matter to me what color he is. It doesn't matter to me if he's from XYZ or ABC. It doesn't make a fuck to me. You know what I'm saying? And it never has. Now, I mean, I don't get too far and crazy with shit. I'm not going to breed some unpapered trash just because he's a good dog. Because believe me, it doesn't have to be bred super to be a good hunting dog. I've seen plenty of 7-8 way crosses that were damn fine hunting dogs, but I don't know if I'd use them for a stud dog. I've had plenty of high end dogs that I've never used it as a stud dog. And people think just because that dog's got a high rank that it's the shit. You're gonna, man. I've had too many disappointments. I've learned how to breed to make good dogs. I'm not saying I do it every time, but more dogs come out of my program, good usable dogs than not. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is, and it's kind of because I really practice the best of the best, meaning it may be the best producer to the best hunter, or two best producers or two good hunters, and we'll try it that way. I mean, but I always look at the program a little different. I don't just lay out and say, okay, this one's got so much XYZ blood, I'm going to breed it back to this other dog that I don't know a fucking thing about because it's got XYZ blood and everyone loves it on the internet, because that's never worked for me. I mean, that's why we do go through such great lengths to get these dogs bred, and it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Just like with with the Rita, I really was hoping that she would have had some pups. Rita back to the Rebel dog. That dog, he came a long ways to bred, and we were very excited about that. And it didn't work. It failed. I was very excited about my little black bitch being bred to Buster, and there again, they didn't take. There is things that do work and don't. Just because you go somewhere and pay a stud fee and take your bitch and have her bred doesn't mean you're going to get puppies out of it. It's all a thing. And then say you take that dog and you drive 1,000 miles and you breed to a fine stud, and then all of a sudden you get home and you have a beautiful litter and none of them are worth a shit. That happens too. Every time you step outside your box, there's a chance that you're not going to get back in it, So all those are just things you got to learn as you go. But the main thing is right here. You want to start your pups and have them real healthy, fat, good looking, strong. If you can get all your pups to make it, or a good majority of them to make it strong and healthy, and you raise them right, never put your hands on them dogs. Even when these dogs are young, they'll aggravate you. I'm telling you right now. My fucking dogs have eaten $1,000 or more, way more than that, in Reeboks and boots and shit. You don't whip them dogs. Scold them. The best way to scold a game dog is ignore him. Put him in, ignore him. Don't look at him, turn your back to him, and ignore him. They'll do it back to you. They'll do it back. Rusty does it to me all the time. He gets mad at me, that son of a bitch will turn right around and won't even look at you. He learned it. But don't never put your hands on them. Don't whipping them and shit like that. You ain't doing nothing but messing his mind up. You're not doing anything to teach him a damn thing. So start strong with them, and you finish strong with them. But my folks, I hope everyone's doing good. And like I said, y'all trying to get in touch with me, leave me messages, and you got to leave your phone numbers, because my phone doesn't have signal when I'm inside. I don't get signal, so I have to be outside and it'll catch in and out. If you don't leave your number, I won't be able to call you back because I can't see what number it called from. So anyway, y'all take care and y'all keep on bulldogging. And I'm gonna go get Mama and put her back in here. And y'all stay safe.